We will be swallowed by a shallow intention. If we are to survive this war, we must move in a different direction. Disciples of the lost, your suffering, your silence, it was tyranny of bruises of the cross. Nothing will save you
What is up, my friends? How you doing? It's my birthday today. Woohoo! And I am here to celebrate with you guys. Well, one day it will be, my friend. One day it will be. What's going on, Marcus? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we got a jam-packed show for you guys today. We got a cooking segment first. I'm going to debut, as it's my birthday, I'm going to debut my solo project, Forlorn World, up in that corner. I'm going to debut a song for you guys. I'm going to play along as well. So hopefully that goes well, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. And I've also got a guest. I've got Nick from Equipoise, and he's going to be calling in soon. And we're going to go for an interview. So I'm going to crack straight on with our cooking segment, though, my most ambitious part of my stream. So hope everyone's doing well, and let's get cooking. How you doing, bud?
Hey, first of all, happy birthday, my man.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it.
Hope you're gonna have a really good birthday. Hope it's been good so far, and hope it's gonna be even.
It's been great, man, and I'm happy to be on stream, hanging out with you and hanging out with everyone out there online. So it's good times.
Yeah, nice. We have a little bit of a heavy metal party going on here now.
Oh yeah, you're just about to get even more hungry, GB. This is going to be delicious. All right, let's go for it. What we cooking? Let's get into this.
All right, so I'm going to be making you what I would actually make for someone as their birthday cake. This is called a meatza, which is a pizza where the base is made completely out of meat.
Oh, a meatza.
So
that sounds epic. All right.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever asked you if you were vegan or not. So
I am not. I'm a meat eater.
All right, fantastic. So I'm going to start by preheating my oven to the highest temperature that it will go, which is 250 degrees Celsius. And I have put it on the grill setting. So only the top of the oven is going to be on. And for this recipe, I'm using some ground beef. And when I say beef, I mean water buffalo, which is another bovine animal, because cow slaughter is not legal in parts of India. Not that the cows are really much to look at, but lots of political and religious reasons for things like this, which I won't get into because it's a good day, which is your birthday, so we're not going to talk.
No, it's fine. I mean, I was actually interested in it when you mentioned about beef because I know that it's sacred. I mean, I'm pretty ignorant to why it's not eaten.
Yeah.
But
Well, you can say some people consider it sacred, but it was not sacred for the reasons it's sort of propagated as. Now it's become a tool for politicians and right-wing Hindu extremists to basically lynch Muslims. Like,
oh,
you
okay.
won't see anyone, yeah, you won't see anyone coming to my house and lynching me or anyone lynching anyone in Bombay. But in a lot of villages, they'll rough up cattle transporters, and it doesn't matter whether they're transporting them for slaughter or for milk, because milk is perfectly fine. But yeah, and the
It's
funny
double
thing is, it's
standards.
really, you want to hear the double standard of it all? The India is the third largest exporter of beef in the world.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a bit hypocritical right there.
And no, that's not the kicker. The kicker is that the businesses. So I tell you what, in India, the slaughterhouses are, and the people who actually, the butchers are all mostly Muslims, largely.
Oh,
But
okay.
all the businesses of the slaughter and the export are owned by all the very rich, right-wing, very pious Hindus.
I
So
see. It's very
it's
complicated then.
yeah,
Maybe we shouldn't get into this.
yeah,
What are you doing to the meat there? What were you
right.
putting in just there?
I just put in some salt and pepper because I
Just
like to
basic.
get the flavor of the beef. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're just mixing. You're just
I just mix
mincing the
it.
beef up.
So it's already ground beef. So if you live in the UK, obviously you will get beautiful 80-20 ground beef, which is 20% fat and 80% lean. This year is more 95% lean because that's our
The
cattle is
standard.
all working cattle. Yeah, it's a. But anyway, I'm going to get some parchment paper on my cutting board now,
Okay, parchment
and I'm
paper.
also going to.
Is
Yeah, I mean
is
you
that
don't.
is that the only thing you can use, or can you use other things?
Well, you could use a plate, or you could actually directly in the pan shape the pizza base.
Okay,
But I
for the
want to get
best
a little bit,
results.
yeah. But the thing is, my beef doesn't have too much fat, so I prefer to get the pan hot and then use the parchment paper and slap it down in the frying pan.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds much more. That sounds much more satisfying. And
yeah.
yes,
But if you're
if you're
if you're,
vegan, sorry, please don't be offended, but we'll try and do something vegan friendly next week. 'Cause
yeah, I
I
mean,
have
look, the
nothing
thing is,
against vegans, and I know that you do some vegan dishes, Sahil. So
yeah. In fact, I was vegan for a while, like 2 weeks. And the truth is, like, I think it's cool if people love animals and they don't want to eat them. More power to you. I mean, that's great. Yeah. I don't knock people's food choices. If they want to eat that, if they don't want to eat meat, I'm
yeah,
happy to
absolutely, of course, of
support you.
course.
Right. So now it's time to shape our pizza base. So I'm going to get that meat on this really cheap quality parchment paper, and basically you just shape it like a hamburger patty. So just shape it as thin or as thick as you'd like it. Obviously, the thinner the better, because then you get a bigger pizza.
So you want to get it
And you can,
as thin as you can, basically,
well,
but
about
keep its
half an inch should
tenacity.
be okay. Yeah, I mean, it should not fall apart. Basically, you don't want it to
So
fall
about
apart.
half-inch thick is
Yeah,
optimum.
half-inch thick is good. Yeah, that's a nice size. And I'm just gonna wash my hands because I've handled raw meat. So always wash your hands with soap, rinse them well.
The
Now I need to add.
suicidal unicorn just wished me happy birthday, so I'm going to say thank
Oh,
you for that.
nice.
Don't kill yourself though. Unicorns are special,
Yes.
especially on
So
birthdays. So what are you slamming in the pan there?
that's just some avocado oil, but you could use bacon fat, you could use lard, you could use olive oil, you could basically use any cooking fat that you like.
Mm-hmm.
And my pan is smoking, well, hot. So now I'm gonna have to do the trick of slapping this down into the frying pan without spilling the oil and burning myself.
I wish I had the ability to replay and slow mo this, but I don't. So
Yeah,
take a good look, guys.
yeah, I'm gonna just try and do it without destroying too many things. And
Ooh,
okay, we got it in
that looks like a man
successfully.
that's done that many times. Perfect.
Yeah, I just did it at 6 p.m. in the evening today. So 6 hours ago, I was doing the same thing.
Guys, just to reiterate, you don't have to do that. Like slam it in
Yeah,
like that. You can make the pizza base in the pan if you want to. It's a bit less risky, But
Yeah. I would recommend making it in the pan and then turning the pan on the highest heat possible. In most places, the kind of meat you get, it'll be fine. Here, it has a tendency to dry out a little bit because it's very lean. But if you're using 80/20, you should be absolutely fine. And what
great.
I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cover this as well. So what that does is it's going to steam the patty and the top will start to cook. So when I flip it over, it's not going to just break and disintegrate because it's not properly cooked.
Okay,
So
awesome.
that's the yeah. And now I'm also going to get my roasting tray out of the oven because we need to assemble this pizza and we need to put it back in the oven. So I've got some foil on the baking tray just because it makes cleanup easier.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Foil,
because then I can
foil
just
is
pick.
important, guys, and cleaning up is not what you want to be doing after you've eaten a delicious meal.
Now you
Oh,
can see the top is also kind of gray instead of being red, like it's fully
yeah.
cooked. So I'm going to flip it over now because I want color on both sides. So get my spatula and hopefully this will not break. It broke a little bit, but that's okay. Not too much.
So what's is the texture similar to a burger then?
Yeah, it's basically going to be like a pizza and a hamburger in one. It's
Nice.
it's a bit of a fusion dish, so to speak. But I wish you guys could smell the smells that I'm smelling right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting so hungry just staring at this.
I should have got a little candle to put in the center and have you virtually blow it out.
Thank you for all the birthday wishes, guys. Enjoy the show. I'm having
Yeah,
so
guys,
much fun. So.
sing a virtual song in your bedroom. Happy birthday to you. Happy
I'm listening, guys. Come on.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. And I totally ruined the song.
and now the meal's burning.
No, it's
I'm
almost
just
there,
kidding.
because or we can do the happy birthday.
Yeah, that's the only birthday I want.
Must warm up my vocal cords. All right, so this is
I've been
this
there,
is
bro. I've
definitely
been there.
yeah. This is definitely cooked on both sides now. It's going to cook a little more in the oven, so I'm getting it out now. Onto this it goes. Now you're going to assemble it like you would assemble a pizza. So I've got a store-bought pizza sauce which doesn't have too much sugar in it and doesn't have
Is that just like a marinara
many.
sauce?
Well, I bought Basilico with 100% Italian tomatoes.
Oh, 100%
So, yeah.
Italian, eh?
Yeah.
Do they come out? Do they come out of the jar doing this? Like,
You don't know anything.
I'm 100% Italian. That was a really bad accent. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Italian friends.
Nah. Yeah, we mean no. You can make jokes about us.
I can do it though because Giacomo's in my band and he's like pure Italian, so he's like my brother. So I'm
Perfect.
exempt.
Yeah, I've got Italian friends, so I'll just consider myself exempt. And I love pizza and Italian food, so that's
Yeah, me
enough.
too. Pizza is my bread and butter, let's say.
Nice. So okay, I've got the sauce spread out on the base,
Okay.
and now I've got some pepperoni. Not too much, just a little bit because I use some of it in the evening. But it's just enough because it's a small size pizza. It's
Okay.
actually the perfect amount. So yeah, this is just a standard pork pepperoni that you get in the supermarket. And of course, you can top it with whatever you like: olives, mushrooms, peppers, ham, whatever. Like literally, it's yours to play around with. And then, of course, the most important ingredient on pizza: cheese.
The person who wanted a vegan meal is also Italian, so maybe we can figure out a vegan Italian style dish for next week.
You know, I can't imagine a vegan Italian cheese they put in everything they eat.
It's true.
Like, I mean, it's not about the meat. Like Italian food can easily be made vegetarian. Like some of my favorite Italian dishes are vegetarian, like your melanzane parmigiano. I think that's how they say it.
That's a
That's
good
the
accent.
eggplant parmesan.
I think that was a
Which
pretty
is-
good pronunciation.
Nice, thanks. But yeah, that's really delicious. I love a caprese. A good caprese is outstanding. You know, just mozzarella, basil, and So when I talk about buffaloes, by the way, that we eat, which I'm eating now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm referring to the buffalo from which you get the milk to make buffalo mozzarella. So it's not
Ah.
like it's not the American bison, which people confuse it for. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, this goes into the oven now for maybe 5 minutes, I think, because
What
it
cheese
just
did
needs
you?
to.
What cheese was it that you put on? Mozzarella, or
No, I put cheddar because I'm all out of pizza cheese. But you can literally put any pizza, uh, any
any
cheese you
cheese
like.
you
You can
want?
put cheddar. You can put hard mozzarella. I wouldn't recommend putting the fresh mozzarella because it releases a lot of water. If you are going to put it, squeeze all the water out of it and then shred it and put it.
Someone in the chat just asked, "Do you deliver to the States?"
Um, yeah, I'll just like throw it through the
Throw
live
it through
stream.
the screen. I'll catch it and then pass it along.
Take a bite and
Yeah.
pass it to whichever country.
Sounds about
Yeah,
right.
there's some guitar plectrum challenge, right? You're supposed to do like you play a guitar riff and you tap
Yeah,
the plectrum here
do
and
a
somebody.
burger challenge, burger pizza
Yeah,
challenge. That
that's a
sounds.
great idea. I should see if I can get my Headbangers Kitchen fans to do something.
Yeah, for
So that
sure.
should
I'll get involved with that as well if you get it done. For sure.
you are a brilliant man. You have now set my brain in motion for this incredible what could be an incredible event or a complete flop, but I feel like something might be possible.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it seems like a good idea because just trying to get people involved is good because
Yeah.
people need stuff to do. So I'm sure out of your 500,000 fans, which I want to congratulate on, man, that's incredible. 500,000 fans on YouTube. I'm sure you'll get inundated with people trying to impress you with their dishes.
No, I normally get a lot of, can I eat this food on keto? So I've been doing keto for 2 weeks and I haven't lost any weight. Can you help me? Like, it's like I'm suddenly like the personal dietitian for everybody, and I have a bad habit of like I can't ignore messages for some reason. Like
Yeah.
everybody, like all the sort of people who I know who have got big fan followings or big numbers on their Instagram and all, they just have like they just leave the messages there. But I think OCD because I if I see unread messages, it really bothers me.
Actually, yeah. Well, that's good. I
Like
mean, it's
my
good. It's good to connect with your fans, but I
yeah,
can. You should maybe do like a frequently asked questions at this point.
I'm working on that actually.
Oh, there
Since
you
you did
go.
mention it, I've already put that into motion because like I've seen my dad's email account got like 3,000 unread messages, and my wife's account has 1,600 unread messages, and I'm like, how are you guys living with that? Like, don't you just like something happened
Yeah,
to
no,
you?
I agree. I do not like seeing unread stuff. By the way,
Yeah.
how long do we leave it in the oven for?
5 minutes or till the cheese on top browns. So remember, you got to have it on the grill setting,
Grill
not the regular
setting.
oven setting, because you already cooked the burger patty as much as like
You cooked it
80%.
through, yeah.
Yeah. So you just want to brown the cheese, let that pepperoni release some of the oils, or if you're putting, say, mushrooms or something, just let them kind of get cooked a little bit. And yeah, then we'll pull it out. In fact, I'm just going to have a sneak peek. If we're running short on time, let me know because I can pull
No,
it
no,
out
no,
slightly early.
absolutely not, man. It's a pleasure to
Okay.
have you on and chat with you, man. So it's great. So
Yeah, so 2 minutes and it'll be done. I think another 120 seconds and we should be good to remove that from the oven.
perfect. So yeah, I mean, I got the stuff together to cook. So not next week, but the week after, I'll be cooking along with you live. It's
Yes.
going to be crazy. I've got my my lovely partner's going to be taking over the broadcast. So I mean,
Right.
I'm not nervous about it. I'm sure it'll be fun, but it's just I'm really having to, because I live in quite a small house. Fortunately, I'm having to run cables out of my window down into the kitchen because I have to have a headphones feed and I have to have a
Yes.
camera feed. I do have to have a mic feed as well, but I might be able to use the webcam mic. But I'm gonna see how it goes and just set it up, and it should be quite funny. I think it should be.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a small house, but you have an upstairs and a downstairs. I've just got one stairs.
Well, I'm in like a terrace house, so I've got like house on my house there and a house on my house there. So
nice.
it's one of those.
But yeah, we
not
should
the most
definitely-
ideal thing for a pandemic, but you know, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
definitely. We should definitely poll your audience if they think I should give you a easy dish or should I amp
No.
up the
All right,
cooking skill level.
all right, guys. So you heard him. Should I have an easy dish? So you guys know, I can cook a little bit, but I'm not a technical cook at all. So should I
on a
have an
scale
easy
of-
dish that you guys could do at home, or should I have something a bit more difficult, which I'm probably going to fail at, and when I try, I'm probably not going to like?
On a
Let
scale
me
of
know in
1
the comments.
to 10, how
There's about a 35-second delay or something. So we're just
that's all right. They can take
Just-
their time. On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult do they want the dish to be for you?
yeah, okay. And yeah, scale it 1 to 10 then.
That's a good thing to measure it on.
Intermediate dish. Oh, come on. Help a brother
Yeah.
out. It's my birthday. I need easy.
I'm thinking around a level 3 should be okay for you.
Thanks, mum. My mum said easy dish, and she said please as well. So,
Yes, we'll do
my brother is here as well. It's like a family affair.
Wow.
He just said definitely difficult. So he was.
That's a typical brother thing to say.
Yeah, of course it is.
Did you guys fight a lot while growing up?
Not particularly. I was the youngest of 3, so
Oh.
I think they had the wars, and I was just kind of like, I was
You
kind of
were the
like,
baby.
yeah. I think I saw them fight so much that I was probably too scared to try anything.
Nice one. Anyway, I think our pizza's done, my friend.
Fantastic. Let's have a look.
Let's bring it out. I mean, yeah.
I
think that should be good.
I actually think I'm going to try this because I've really been oh.
Yeah, and this is super easy actually. Like, I keep forgetting the camera's here, right? Right. In fact, I can put it in the frying pan just for a better visual for you guys.
It looks pretty delicious.
Yeah, I mean it's simple, it's easy, it's keto friendly, which is what I'm known for. So
There you go,
keeping
guys. Keto friendly.
Yeah, and yeah, there you go. That's the meatza.
The
Ladies and
meatza.
gentlemen, the meatza with pepperoni hidden there underneath.
Cut it open so we can have a 3D
All
shot.
right, let's do a cross section.
Yeah, cross section. That's it.
I'm gonna put it on my cutting board and bring out the most metal knife that I have, which is my head.
Oh yeah.
just gonna
Dave
give that a-
on YouTube just said Demonic Resurrection and Bloodshot Dawn live in Italy in 2021, please. If we can,
I agree.
we will.
I agree. Yeah, we should
You're going to be
definitely-
over that way actually, so maybe we can figure something out.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while, so I mean, yeah,
It's definitely going
once
to
the-
happen.
touring can resume. And there you have it.
Ooh.
That
The camera actually flickered for a minute. It couldn't handle the deliciousness. There you go, guys.
I don't know if there's a way for me to focus it, but whatever.
No, it's focused. It's focused. It's
Alright.
looking good.
Yep.
What do you say?
And
You're
then
gonna have a bite. You're gonna have a little bite. Give us a.
It's 12:30 in the morning.
Go on, give us a little taster. Come on, because
it's
I would grab it through the screen, and
know.
I'd crush it in my hand and just slam it on my face. It looks so delicious.
I have no
Oh, look, he's got a
doubt you
pizza
would.
style slice as well. I love how the cheese just sits on top like a pizza as well. That's
Mm,
how was
Wow.
that?
delicious.
There you
As
go,
good
guys.
as the one I made earlier today.
Oh. It's keto though, so you can eat as much of it
it's so
as you
good.
want. No.
You can't. You got to watch what keto also.
Well, you can have a good bite at least like that.
Yes, that you can do. But yeah, man, that was good. It's juicy. It's delicious, and my fingers are all covered in beef and tomato juices. So
I really appreciate you coming on and staying up later for us because it, like you said, it is half midnight for him. So
yeah.
give him some appreciation for staying up for us in
No worries.
these times. So
the funny thing is, you guys have daylight savings time or something?
yeah.
Yeah, because actually, when I checked, when we spoke about doing this the first time, you said 8 p.m. UK time, and according to my normal clock, that's 1:30 a.m. for me.
Yeah,
But
so
when I did the actual checking, it turns out it's an hour earlier because I think you guys move your clocks back or something like that.
yeah, it changes like twice a year, I think. I don't know
So
why.
worked in my favor, I guess.
But yeah, so thanks a lot, man. We got a song of yours to play. Do you want to just let us know a little bit about who's playing in it and what it is?
Yes, I think I sent you the one with David Diepold playing
exactly.
drums and Stefano from Aborted and Hideous Divinity playing bass. That song is called The Weak... Wait, is that the one that's... No, that's the Human... Shoot, I forgot which song I said.
Hey! This is your moment.
Well, it's one of the songs from my latest album, whichever one it is, one with David Diepold and Stefano. It's either The Human Pestilence or... Okay, I've lost it. I have completely... Look, it's 12:30 in the morning.
Just
I'm
so you
allowed to be
guys know,
forgetful.
he has a lot of albums, so don't blame him for forgetting the song name. But yeah, we'll get to that. Thanks so much, Sahil, man.
It's The Human Pestilence.
It is The Human Pestilence. So,
yes. All right.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'll see you next week, and yeah, we'll try something vegan, guys, next week.
All right.
And yeah, great. Thanks,
Cool.
thanks
for
coming on,
birthday,
dude.
my friend.
Enjoy
happy
the
birthday once
music,
again.
and I'll be back in a minute with Nick from Equipoise. So, cheers. See
Say
you
hi
again,
to
man.
Nick as well. Bye.
I will
See you
do.
guys.
Alrighty. So that was great. Thank you, Sahil. I'm actually getting a bit of an echo on your thing, Nick. But I'm gonna come to Nick now. All right, so Nick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
Yeah, really good. So Nick is from the band Equipoise, as well as Veluent Depravity and Kosaf, and you're from Denver, right? Is that right?
No, I'm from Pittsburgh.
No, you're from Pittsburgh. So how you doing, man? How is it over in Pittsburgh at the moment with everything going on?
We're like the 5th worst state, I believe. Last time I checked.
Okay, so are you guys heavily locked down at the moment, or?
It's not too bad. I mean, it hasn't really affected my day to day too much, but I know a lot of people that it has affected, so I feel very bad for them.
Yeah, fair enough, man. So, yeah, we're gonna crack into some of your music and talk about your debut album with Equipoise and the process of that. And I've got like a little interview as well that I'm gonna do, which is more sort of personal to you, I'd say. So yeah, we're gonna get into all of that in a bit. Just before we do that, though, so my stream doesn't die, I'm gonna quickly play a song, if you don't mind, Nick. If you don't mind hanging around for a minute.
Yep.
Cool, man. So yeah, I'll be back with you in a few minutes, and I'm pretty much just gonna be debuting a song from my my solo project, guys. So this is the first time. Pretty much, I mean, some people have heard it, don't get me wrong, but this is the first time I've actually shown it to people. This is actually it's going to be a pre-mix as well, before the final mix comes out. Just something I can play along to, really. So, yeah, I'm gonna get into that, guys. So, see you in a minute, Nick. Alrighty. So yeah, this is the opening track from my album. So the track is called Moving Mountains. A little bit nervous about playing it because, yeah, just cause. But let's see how it goes. I hope you guys enjoy it. The album's ready to go. So, actually, one second. This is a bit anticlimactic. I just need to make sure I'm in tune because I haven't checked my tuning since I started the stream. And that wouldn't be a good way to debut the old track. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in on my birthday. Really appreciate it. So I've got Nick. I've got a bit of an echo on the thing. If you could mute me again, that'd be sweet. Sorry, buddy. That's sad. I'm going to restart. My apologies, guys. How embarrassing. What a way to debut the song. Oh, goodness me. I'm a bit nervous about this. I don't know if you guys can see that. But yeah, let's try that again, shall we? All right. through it in the end. But yeah, so that's the opening track from my solo album that's coming out. That track's called Moving Mountains. There's a guest solo in there, as I'm sure you can guess that I wasn't playing. And that's by Alex from Infected Dead. So yeah, there's a lot more details of that coming soon. I've got 7 new tracks basically for you guys. The album artwork's almost done, so once that's finished, I'll get all the process rolling, and I'll get something official out there. Got some cool stuff happening with the mixing and mastering. All the details will come out soon. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys. Let's go back to Nick. How you doing, bud?
Hey, man.
Got a little echo going on again.
Okay?
Yeah, it sounds good. There's a little echo going on there. I'm not sure what that's from.
I'm trying to get this all fixed up. Yeah, it's like crackling, kind of weird, but I
think it sounds.
I don't know what to do, really.
Sounds broadcasting. Yeah, this is live on Twitch.
Oh, I know. Okay, 1 second. I got this.
No problem, my friend.
Discord needs to go up. I need to not hear myself. I need to mute you on Discord or Zoom. There we go. That should be good now.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds fine. I mean, there's a little echo, but it's all right. So yeah, I'm gonna chuck them straight into your song, and then we'll talk about that. There's quite a bad echo, actually. Do you have headphones, maybe?
I do have headphones I can grab. While we play the song, I'll grab those. Okay.
Yeah, that might fix it. But yeah, do you want to introduce the song? By the way. Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah. The song that we're going to be playing is the first single we released for our debut full-length Demiurgus, and it's called Waking Divinity. It's a personal favorite of mine. If I'm allowed to have favorites of my own songs.
Of course you are. Of course you are. That's why we do
I love
this.
How it turned out. It was funny because it was our original guitarist, Zach, and we were just screwing around one day at my sister's apartment because I couldn't really make noise where I was at the time. So I went there, and he shows me this opening riff. It's a couple measures. I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's like a technical Black Dahlia type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day I was so enamored in the riff that I just went home and I banged out the song in a day. And
yeah, I actually really like this song, so I'm quite excited to show it to the fans out there. So yeah, let's get that going. And
yeah,
I'm gonna just make a few comments here and there. Hopefully it doesn't bother people too much. But yeah, let's check it out. This video is actually made by guy who did the animation for us. Good friend of mine, Andres. All the way from Costa Rica. But yeah, let's get into this. That is fretless bass for you guys. You're wondering. Thank you, family of all tuners. I hope they're loving the death metal song. Love you guys. From Equipoise's debut album. We'll be talking about the song straight afterwards. So just stick around. It sounds incredible though. The vocals are horrendous. Unbelievable technicality. Listen to it. I'm a sucker for a good solo. Like Nick was saying, yeah, ridiculous guitar player. It's God tier. Let us know what you think, guys. If you've never heard this before, chuck it down in the comments. You're going to be learning more about his bands, and he's got other projects as well. So we'll get into that after we've listened. And guys, if you're not on Twitch, come to Twitch and watch me here, because that's the best way to help me out. If you can support me, go on Twitch, get my numbers up on there. It's a new platform. I'm liking this beat down. Not beat down. Sort of like nice little break. My Twitch is it's at the top there. Twitch.tv/Josh McLaurin. Just my name. Back in the corner. Yeah, I mean, this sounds absolutely killer, guys. What do you think? First time you've ever heard, yeah? This is their debut album as well, so all more to come from these guys. Thanks for the follow, bro. Until now. Rick Levy on the Sunday. That chorus sounds nice. Thanks, my friend. Appreciate that. If you guys have Amazon Prime, by the way, you can sign up to Twitch Prime free, and then you can subscribe to me. And I'll get paid, and you don't have to spend anything. I love the album artwork as well. How insane is that? We'll have a place to look at that in a minute. Relentless. Great video by the rest as well. It's amazing. My favourite song. Thanks, my friend. Having a great day. Great to be able to share a birthday with everyone on the stream. The vocals are so ridiculous in this, like, I wouldn't have a chance, honestly. And definitely not my style of vocals to sing, but I like that. I like the way it starts with Brian. What's up, Jay? How you doing, well, bud? So as you can probably tell, Nick is an extremely talented guy. Hence why I wanted to get him on there. Wow, beautiful. All right. Have we got you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Sorry, I was
man.
reading something real quick. My bad, man.
No, you're good. Well, your song just
I
finished
zoned
there.
out for a second.
Yeah, it
You know,
seems, it seems to have sorted itself out now. So, yeah, so the response in the chat for the song was amazing. They
See, I was trying to watch it on Facebook because I could only hear on Facebook for some reason. I could hear you talking on Discord, so I had the video split. That's why I kind of zoned out for a second.
Nah,
There was
yeah.
like a delay between the two.
It's
So I
all
was
good.
reading and everything.
Yeah, so the song's absolutely killer. So the video was done by Andreas Montero, right? Montero.
Yep, I met him. I met him in Mexico City. Actually, he's a sweetheart.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I mean, I've known him for quite a few years now. He did some stuff with Bloodshot, and yeah, he's always been sweet. I've played with his friend's band from Costa Rica, Sight of Emptiness. I don't know if you know those guys. It's like melodic death metal stuff. So yeah, that's basically how I connected with him, and he made he did a video for us on our Reanimation thing. So yeah, great guy,
Yeah, he's sick.
very talented.
He does a really good job.
So yeah, let's I'm gonna quickly show people the links and stuff if they want to check you out further before we crack on. So and the beautiful artwork as well. So the album's been out for a little while now, guys. So you can get it on Spotify, anything like that. It's all out there, ready for your ears. That delicious riffage. So yeah, so speak to us. Tell us how did you how do you go about composing such an epic technical masterpiece like that? I know that's a very broad question, but
no, honestly, it was all thanks to Guitar Pro, because I mean, it kind of helped me me write outside of.
So that's your process for writing songs, Guitar Pro.
Well, it was not anymore. Now it's weird. So I found that as a guitar player, I kind of had and I'm sure you're the same way, and the same as every other guitarist. You kind of have your muscle memory, and then you end up, these go-to riffs or patterns that you end up writing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the stuff it kind of gets sort of embedded in.
The problem is the stuff I liked in my fingers was not the stuff I liked in my ears.
Yeah. I mean, that's where you got to find the balance, right? That's where you got to study and get to the point where one day you're just like, it all just falls into place. So
I got Guitar Pro, and I was about to say Guitar Hero. I got Guitar Pro, and I don't know why I got it. I don't know also what took me so long to get it, but I got Guitar Pro, and I started writing some stuff with my old guitar, Zach, and I wanted to kind of hear how it would sound with guitar or drums rather, because I did actually play a lot of rock band drums. So I'm not a drummer, but I understood how to keep a beat and whatever, and the concept of how
you knew the drum beats you wanted and stuff like that, and how to do basic
I knew how
programming,
how to structure out a blast beat and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Which is 101 important if you're writing metal. Yeah, you need to know the blast 100%. Beat.
Most of the song was a blast beat.
Which I condone. I condone thoroughly.
No, I'm over that now, but I did enjoy it for sure. But I basically started playing with that. I wrote the drums out, and then I played along with my guitar. It was real crude, but I had my little crappy Guitar Pro drums playing in the background, and I was playing with my guitar, and I was real sloppy, and because none of it was really clean. So then, and at this time I didn't understand meter or anything like that, so I didn't understand how to space notes out. And I was like, let me just tab out the guitars too while I'm at it. So I tabbed out the guitars for one of my songs. It's on our album. It's called Sigil Insidious.
Okay.
And I tabbed out guitars, and I was like, what I'd really like to write is some fretless bass. So then I wrote my first fretless bass lines, and I listened back to them. I was like, holy shit, dude, these are pretty ridiculous.
This is nice, yeah.
I gotta ask somebody to stick the place. That's when I hit up Hugo.
And
then he obliged.
Hugo plays in some other bands as well, right?
Yep, he plays in Beyond Creation, Brought by Pain, and he's played in Conflux Collective, Bukaki. I'm trying to think of who. Gone by April.
A lot of bands then.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work. Hugo's the sweetheart, and he's very ambitious and busts his ass. But yeah, so I just kind of followed that pattern for about 2 months. I wrote the album in around 2 months.
All on Guitar Pro, or?
Yeah. Granted, I went through later on in the future, and I went in with my guitar and just kind of human-proofed everything. Now, I'm sure my other guitarist, Sanjay or Phil, could have played whatever I had written initially. I couldn't, because I'm not as sick as them.
Yeah.
I decided to kind of tame out the riffage a little bit. And I found it was cool because it helped me learn to make the music less, maybe unnecessarily intricate. It still sounded good. So it helped me kind of learn to dial back the intricacy while still maintaining.
Yeah, especially if you're planning on playing this sort of stuff live, you have to definitely think about that.
It's so tiring.
Yeah,
it's exhausting, man.
we have to be really careful because obviously we're doing guitar and vocals as well. So sometimes it can be crazy, but we try not to compromise the music for it, if you know what I mean. But there definitely has to be a balance because I mean, how technical can you get? You know, it's like
That's how these dudes that do because you do vocals and guitar, right? I don't get
yeah,
how
exactly.
people do that.
Morgan does as well. We both share the
Okay.
vocal duties and do guitars. So
Actually, I met Morgan at NAMM.
yeah, I know.
I ran
He
into
said
him. He's a super nice guy.
yeah, he said exactly the same about
Everybody's
you.
nice.
So everyone's happy
nice.
to be at NAMM. I'll get to NAMM one day.
It's sick there. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. It was my first NAMM, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, after the first day, I was pretty tapped out. I mean, I was just like, all right, man. I saw everything. Like, this is kind of, you're just walking around all day for like whatever 6, 7, 8 hours. And just like, you're like, all right, man. I'm done.
I'm not sure my hips could take that, to be honest.
It gets tiring. I mean, I'm starting to approach my 30s, and I'm starting to get, I'm at that age where like I go to a show, and after the second band, I'm like, all right, let's go now.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm tapped.
checking social media, like, oh, does anyone need me at home for any reason?
Yeah.
Or, like... But yeah, no, I get the feels as well. But yeah, no.
But
So Guitar Pro kind of inspired the whole project. Really, it drove it forward.
Yeah, so Guitar Pro kind of got the ball rolling for me, and then as I learned the songs, it helped me kind of develop that muscle memory I wanted. So I went from having like a muscle memory I didn't really care for, playing like, more simple riffs, to writing everything in Guitar Pro. And then Guitar Pro, I had to learn the songs, and then that forced me to kind of almost learn that muscle memory, and then my songs kind of adapt it in the future. So now I only write.
So what sort of because obviously the stuff you've written is very, very, very technical. It's like stuff that I would have to really, really, really study to play myself. What was your kind of routine, and how much practice did you have to do to get it to a level where you were happy, of course? Because that's what it boils down to with this things. If you can play happily and confidently, then that would translate to the crowd. So how was your routine? Because like you say, you wrote stuff that was beyond your level of play at the time.
Well, see, I only really actually practiced the songs until we had to tour.
Oh,
Then
okay.
it was just, like the standard, or I don't know how standard. I know a lot of people do it. I'll be
that's
just recording bit by bit, whatever I need to do. But then it came time to tour, and I was like, okay, I have to learn the music now. And I started learning it, and my routine was learning it. That was it.
Yeah,
I'm not much of like a.
Did you have to play for a lot, or play?
Yeah, like
I mean, that's what I mean.
Banged the set out. Sanjay banged the set out in like 2 weeks, I believe. I started talking to him, and then 2 weeks later, he's like, "Oh yeah, I learned it." It took me maybe 4 or 5 months to learn. It was just constant,
Sanjay's a freak of nature, though. Let's be honest. He's one of the best out there.
He's definitely one of the best. He has worked very hard at it, and he definitely is dedicated, and he commits himself to it. So it makes sense. I don't commit myself as hard, so therefore I don't get to reap the benefits as well as he does.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, life's only got so much time, so you can't.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stuff going on in my life. I don't know what Sanjay's life is, but he must have spent it more productively than I have in my earlier ages, at least.
Yeah, of course.
Stupid video games and stuff when I was younger.
Video games are not stupid. That's blasphemy.
Okay, video games are fun. But they've wasted a lot of time in my life, unfortunately. But I can't even call it a waste because I enjoy it.
Me too.
Life isn't about enjoyment too. So.
I've played games for hundreds and hundreds of hours. So I
had a really bad League of Legends period for I guess 3 to 4 years.
That's generally how it goes for me. Is that I'll find a game and then I'll get really into it. Like a few that come to mind are like Ark Survival Evolved is one that I've literally written lyrics about that game. It's a survival game that's so intense and just never ending. But I played MMOs kind of similar. Well, no, actually, the League of Legends is more of an RTS, but I played Final Fantasy 11, which is kind of like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm a huge just straight up Final Fantasy games. I'm a huge right now. I'm playing the remake.
I really wanted that, but
it's good.
There's no PlayStations for sale at the moment, so I'm kind of out of luck. Really, it's all sold out over here in the UK. But honestly, Final Fantasy VII's probably my biggest influence as a game for music. That and Red Alert 2 combined kind of came out of similar. Yeah, and Final Fantasy 7. I mean, I beat that every couple of years, to be honest. I'm just addicted to it. So
I'm a huge fan of JRPGs in general. So like right now in 7 remake, I'm up to 80 hours, and I'll probably have it at like 90 to 100 before it's done. Just right there, like one game. When I was a kid, that's what I did a lot, was play like Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, all that crap, all the nerd games. But like you could spend 50 to 100 hours on each of them easy.
But would you not? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but your music has that kind of vibe of,
Everybody says that.
Like, does the music? Do you think it's like, even if it hasn't been a direct influence, do you think subconsciously, like playing a lot of JP RPGs has influenced your style? Because I mean, it definitely has for me, like 100%. Like whenever I write leads and stuff, it always starts sounding like boss music. So
I think it's possible, honestly, because I don't know. When I was a kid, I never really paid attention to the soundtracks. But now that I've gotten older, like I definitely pay attention to the composers and what they do.
Yeah.
And I just hear like the key changes they use within their songs, and just the note choices and all the harmonies and everything they use is like, it's like up there. Like I think of like metal musicians as being like low class peasants at this point. you have this whole class of composers out there. They're just so superior, and their grasp on music is substantially larger than ours.
Yeah, I mean, I've got
metal community.
Talking of League of Legends, I've got some friends that are actually the composers for the band Pentakill.
I've heard of that. They do like that.
It's like power metal stuff. They do
Magfest.
Yeah, I think so. They do like the launches for the seasons and stuff when they do the big stadium shows. And they used to play in a band called Xerath, which is kind of like
okay, I remember.
Yeah, they're like film score sort of prog metal stuff. But yeah, they went into that League of Legends band, and since then they've played in like stadiums, like literally to like 60,000 people, just jamming out metal songs and stuff.
Sick.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? So yeah, and but my point is that I mean, for me, for all my peers that I played with in the UK, they're probably the highest tier songwriters that I know. And they got the job on the basis of that. So it's pretty awesome, really, that they can move into that. And it's fortunate that the Pentakill part of the music side of the game is pretty much just metal. So I think they got the original Dragon Force singer as well singing for them. So it's like,
that's really cool.
Pretty intense.
I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, just playing in front of stadiums and stuff, that it's just surreal to me to think that people would like any sort of extreme metal stuff in that sort of capacity.
It's a very particular niche, though. I think it's like they could fill stadiums, but it has to be like
it's all gamers, isn't it?
Video game stuff. Yeah, it's not. Or
so,
like
sort of people that love League of Legends, or
like Galactic Empire, that Star Wars band.
Yeah, that's
like
really niche.
That will fill a stadium. I believe they did that at one point, and like
that was probably a convention, though, right? A Star Wars convention.
I'm not sure what it was, but I mean, hey, you'd consider them probably extreme metal to some capacity.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
and like that's niche enough where people will be like, yeah, dude, I'll go watch guys dressed in Star Wars outfits go rip on guitar and shit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you get if you get a good gimmick like that, then you can if it really takes. People will enjoy it. Like thinking of gimmicks, like there's Greg's band, what are they called, where he dresses up like Trump.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. What are they called?
Nuclear power tree. Nuclear power tree. Yeah. So
it's Putin, Kim, and
Trump. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're working on some new stuff. So hopefully,
I saw something.
So they were doing maybe a new release. So I'm excited for that because that's quite fun music as well, isn't it? It's quite sort of like
they're sick,
super proggy, and really they're all great. They're all great musicians from the extreme metal scene. So it's good. It's nice to see some people having fun with gimmicks and stuff like that.
No, I agree.
So so recording the album, how did that go? Because you said you guys are all over the place. Was it a long process, or did it happen quite smoothly? Or
the build up to it was long, and that was mainly my procrastinating, because I mean,
what preparation and stuff like that.
That, and I think as Stevie at one point pointed out to me, which always kind of stuck with me after the fact, is, you know, I'm kind of the guy of the band, like I'm the one directing everything, so the band's not going to move unless I move. So there's a period where I moved, and I just kind of, I don't know, call it depression. I don't know what to call it, but I was just like
burnout, probably. Burnout, man. I mean, I'm in the same boats, and I've felt all of those feelings.
I think it happens every post album, but I was just like, I don't want to do shit, man. So, but I finally got my ass into gear, and it just started being like, I'd go to work for 8 hours, then I'd come home and record for 8 hours, and then I would.
Well, that's another thing, man. That you're splitting it with a full-time job like that. That's definitely that's definitely burnout. So just the fact that you're able to have the capacity to do the album at the level it is whilst holding down a job, that's impressive in itself, honestly. So don't beat yourself up.
No, I know. I think most people are able to do it though. So first of all, Sanjay recorded actually the rhythms on our. So what had happened was, there was a rush to get the recording done because we were trying to get it in like a certain cycle, and I was still working on composing the orchestration. So I discussed with Sanjay, and he's like, "Dude, I'll record both guitar tracks. I don't care." I was like, "Well, I mean, if you want to, because if I'm trying to compose like symphonic stuff, and you know, having you record both guitars isn't going to really take away from the music. And let's be real, he's a better guitarist than me, so I didn't really mind it."
Yeah, I mean that's that. The track sounds better. I've always been the same, you know, when it comes to recording. Just so you know, guys, when recording an album and stuff, generally one guitar player will write, you know, will play both parts if it's a left and right situation. So yeah, I mean, I've always been the same. If whoever's better for the riff, you know, if there's some riffs that I can play better and give my sound to, then great. If not, let Morgan do it, because Morgan's an absolute machine.
Yeah,
so.
Music's not a place for ego, is what I always tell people all the time. It's like if somebody's better for the
I
job,
wholeheartedly agree with that. Wholeheartedly.
It's like, you know, that's why I didn't fight Sanjay. Well, Sanjay also didn't put up a fight, and I didn't put up a fight. I was like, all right, dude, just go ahead. That's cool with me. I mean, Sanjay would.
It's important to be like-minded as well. Like,
yeah.
Because if there is like, you know, a bit of ego sadness going on, then it can cause obviously problems in bands. But I mean, like, you know, if you're in a nice situation where you can be open with each other, like you and Sanjay obviously are, then that's what works best.
Super easy to work with. Super easy to work with. And
I'm the same with Morgan. He's so easy to work with, and it's just makes life so much better, doesn't it? Having a great guitarist by your side.
And it's really cool because him and I are gonna split up the song duties now. So he already started like banging out a bunch of songs for album 2.
Oh, awesome!
I kind of had different plans where I was gonna write one song with my keyboardist and one with my bassist and like whatever with Sanjay and my drummer. But then I decided, you know, Sanjay's trying to make a bunch of scratch tracks, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I have all these songs." I'm like, okay, new plan. We're just gonna take half your songs and half my songs to make an album. So,
yeah.
And we agreed to, you know, I'm gonna do my side of guitars, and he's gonna do his side of guitars this time. Do you
cross into each other's songs? Like, do you have like say he sent you over a song, would you be like, look, I love it, but I really feel like I could restructure it here and add this little lead here, and then it would bring it out? You know, do you have that open relationship with him in as far as writing?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh yeah, I guess it's the first time you're composing. He's composing for the band, so.
Because unfortunately, the time we started doing this is right when Final Fantasy VII came out, admittedly. So I kind of put the brakes on it for a bit. But no, I mean, the plan is I sent him over like incompleted songs. He sent me over incompleted songs. So I actually started. I started a song he started a song, and then I followed up, and I got a really sick riff out of it. And I posted a video of it on Facebook, and a lot of people were like, "Yo, this is sick as hell." And same thing as like anytime he posts stuff, they're like, "Oh, it's so good."
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems like we
So,
do have a good song.
so would you say? Sorry to cut in. Would you say that you use like you use these little videos as kind of market research?
So I've always seen people that are like, "Oh, you know, you don't want to spoil too much of a release," and I think that's honestly like complete bunk. I think that's,
Okay.
I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I think that's bunk because the more you're sharing your art with your viewers or your fans or whatever you want to call them, I think the more they feel connected to you. And I think it's always better to connect to your fan base than anything because that's your market, and that's what I've always placed at the utmost importance is always connecting with everybody, and that's why so many of the people that listen to my music are just like really good friends of mine because
Yeah, I mean,
kind of a
there
natural
seems to be a really nice community behind the record label you work with, Artisan Era, and
yeah,
seems to be very committed
great.
fans. So yeah, I mean that's great. That's you know, especially with very underground niche music like the music we play. That's kind of what you need is dedicated fans that you know that really hungry for your music. You know, do you get
That's
a lot
definitely
of
the Artisan Era.
yeah? Do you get a lot of demanding fans asking for the next album as quick as possible? I guess or.
I mean, I've seen people like, "Hey, can you hurry up?" I think that's just standard with any band though that people are starting to like. But yeah, and that
Because I
makes me
mean,
happy.
your debut album was pretty well acclaimed. Let's be honest. I mean, as far as
it did pretty well.
as far as the
pretty
end of year
excited.
lists and stuff, you were on a lot of them.
We
And
did that. We
didn't
charted
you-
billboards, which is crazy.
yeah, exactly. What were your sort of? Tell us about your stats of the record. It's interesting to know because it's a debut record. So, like, you did you do well on Bandcamp?
Bandcamp was crazy. If you go on Bandcamp and look up like Tech Death, we maintain a spot as like one of the all-time best-selling Tech Death albums, which is crazy to me.
That's
I
incredible.
mean, I've been perusing Bandcamp for whatever 6+ years now.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to see my album like printed on there. There's just a lot of things like there's just this like particular list of bands I always see people mention when they're mentioning Tech Death. It's like Valenoth, Obscura, like Beyond Creation. It feels really good to me now that like on top of that list, almost 9 out of 10 times, if I see those lists of bands, I know my name's gonna be attached to that list, and that just is like the most heartwarming thing ever because first and foremost, I'm a fan. You know, I'm a musician, but I'm a fan first and foremost. So it's like I still have so much respect and love for all these bands, and they're a huge influence. And
Yeah, of
to
course.
see my band's name like attached to any of these other bands is just such a surreal and humbling.
Yeah, I
feeling,
mean,
you know?
so
Crazy.
you talking about this, you've actually managed to play some shows with some of your probably biggest
Yeah.
influences, right? So
Dude, it's
so
crazy.
let's delve into that a bit. So you released your first album. You hadn't played any shows with the band pre-releasing the album or anything like
Ever.
that, or even jammed. So what's been your highlight since you released the album? Oh,
I mean-
tour wise, I mean.
I've been listening to the Faceless forever, so
Uh-huh.
that was insane to me. I've been listening to them for almost, I guess, over 10 years now.
So,
Probably
so
close to 10
where
years.
did you play with the Faceless? Just for the crowd
So
to
we
know.
played with the Faceless in Origin, and that was in Mexico.
Oh, Origin
so it was short,
as
It was
well.
5 days.
I
It was-
love
it was
John.
probably
I
our
love
biggest
John
shows.
on drums for Origin.
Yeah,
just to
John
kind of
was
like
sick. They were
he's
all
such a nice guy. Every time we've played with him, he's just awesome and such an entertainer. Like if you watch him from backstage, he'll put on a show for everyone watching him at the side. You know, it's really great. I love that guy.
I love talking to Mike Flores too. He was such a nice guy. Their bass
Yeah,
player.
crazy
Such a sweetheart.
bassist.
They're all sweet though.
Yeah, really nice guys.
But I love the Faceless guys. I mean, with the Faceless, so Andrew and Julian, they were hanging out with us when we were going to NAMM. We had
Yeah,
a hotel. It was like me, Sanjay, Hugo, Brody. So that was like 4/5 of our touring lineup there. Minus Michael. Michael was hanging out with us too, but we got a chance to hang out with Andrew and Julian a bit, who's the guitarist and vocalist of the Faceless, respectively.
hmm
And I'd never met either of them, but they were both super nice. Oh no, you know what? I met Andrew in I want to say I met Andrew in California when we did our first tour with Beyond Creation, Archaic, and Fallujah. But
That's an amazing lineup as well.
that was crazy too. That was like when we got asked to do that, I was like, holy shit, man! Like I was just in disbelief. It's crazy every day just getting to do that. But
Yeah, I mean, I've had moments like that as well. I think the one that stands out is when we got offered to tour with Winter Sun as direct support.
Yeah,
I was just like, what?
That's a crazy tour.
On the time, it was on the Time tour as well. So it was just like the hype was real for that, and I mean that was life changing for me, to be honest, that tour. But it's a similar vibe, I'd say, because I can definitely hear how much the Faceless influences your riffing, and that's not negative at all. It's like he's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best out there for tech death.
And Michael's a super nice guy too. I feel bad that he gets a lot of flack because he's very friendly and very just warm person that you can talk to easily, and he's not a dick or anything.
Yeah, I know, for sure. I mean, we all have our demons.
Yeah.
And hopefully, from what I've heard, I actually saw them when they toured recently, and it wasn't the greatest show. Let's just say he seemed to be struggling a bit, but I think since then there's been a lineup change again, and he's turned it around a bit. I mean, you could probably fill us in better for that. I mean, how was his? Was he in good spirits on the tour and stuff?
Oh yeah, he was great. There was one night, and this was not their fault. It was the venue's fault. So like, it was the third show. They had to cut the sound super early. Not super early, but it was like early enough where they
just
had
like
to
a
cut,
curfew.
20 minutes of their set. Yeah, because there was like fucking 4 or 5 local bands. It made no sense.
Yeah, that's an age-old story.
And I was talking to, and all the bands that were playing were sick. And I think even, if I recall, one of them even played the next day with us. In I forget where we played, but it was like I even asked our bandmates. I was like, "Yo, should we cut some of our sets so the Faceless has more time?" Like I was trying to get them more time. Like, nah, like just they told us to just keep running it. And they ended up cutting the Faceless set because it was like 1:30, and I felt so bad because it was like they were pissed, dude. They're like, "Yo, fuck this place," and I was like, I don't blame them. Like I was,
yeah, I mean,
for them,
It's I think. It can't be blamed on you guys. It's all blamed on the promoters, and I think it's important to have a certain etiquette, especially for the fans as well, because if the headliner band is getting cut off, that's what generally that's what people are paying for. Don't get me wrong, you
100%.
you can get it so that people come in to see the support bands if it's a new band for them. But the Faceless should be priority, and that's no disrespect to you. But the support bands need to be reeled in. And also, if you are a band that's supporting bands like ours, just try and have respect for them, And if you see that the time is late, remember the show isn't about you, and it's an opportunity to start working up the ladder. Like the last thing you want to do is piss the bands off that you're playing with because they're not going to ask you back, are they? End of the day, so.
No, 100%.
But sometimes it's unavoidable. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, so having seven support bands is just a nightmare waiting to happen, especially when there's a package of free bands.
But yeah, no, the Faceless was like top notch, man. Their lineup, they had very talented musicians on deck. So Andrew, Julian, and Aaron.
Cool.
Forgetting some, okay, and Backtrack Bass.
Yeah, they had that when I saw them as well. I mean, that's fine to do, Like so, it's sometimes it's a case of resource, It's like if you're flying around the world, having one less person is a significant expense taken away. It doesn't cost anything to bring a laptop with you, so.
I mean, it's just, for me, from my perspective, obviously, I have a bias towards wanting to have an actual basis.
Of course, it's priority. So that, well, for me, it's priority as well. Like, I would hate to have to do the backing track thing, but what I mean is, it still sounds okay. It's not unacceptable.
No,
like Animals as Leaders is another band that I saw, and they had the program bass.
If it was the program drum kit or something like that, that's a little different. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to watch two guys just rip on guitar and bass.
No. Yeah, I feel like drums, for me anyway, personally, drums is like the most important part of a gig.
There's a primal energy and just everything to it. Like Brody as a drummer, like he brought so much to our live shows. He like gives it his all. And by the end of the set, he's just like pouring sweat. And like you can't program that, you know? It's just like he's beating the shit out of his drums. I mean, you have like very stale, kind of like lacking any dynamics drums programmed instead. You know, there's no substitute.
James is the same with us. James also we played some shows with Decapitated recently, and he was opening the set with us and then headlining with Decapitated later, and it was in Dublin, and after playing the Decapitated set, I swear down, I think there is a video of it, like we took a video of it because it was so funny, but there was just smoke bellowing. It wasn't smoke, it was like steam from his sweat just bellowing off his back. And it was crazy. It was a constant source for about 5 minutes, to the point where it was like he'd lit up a joint or something, and he was hotboxing the backstage, and we all just started laughing. And it just, I mean, and that was just testament to how much work, you know, you're sitting there. I think they played about 70 minutes or something, and just the intensity that blasting and rhythmic changes and stuff takes. I mean,
drummers,
I feel sorry for them in a way. Yeah, I mean, that's why there's not so many of them, you know. That's one thing. One of the funniest memes, I mean, of the pandemic is the whole, in all seriousness, guys, look after your drummers, because if one of them dies, that's 10 bands that are out.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's so funny. But it's true.
I think of like how, you know, we'll be a guitarist and we'll play like an 8th note pattern, and they're sitting there doing like 16th notes on the kicks the whole time. It's like, this isn't fair, but you know, that's the standard. That's kind of like, for whatever reason, established. Like
when you were programming the drums for the album, how much consideration did you take to the drummer's ability? Did you have the drummer in mind before you started programming it, or?
Chasen was always in the back of our minds, so I'm happy we landed on him.
Yeah, I mean, he's insane. So,
like, one of my biggest ones I wanted was Samuel Santiago. He did Black Crown Initiate, Gorod. He filled in for Beyond Creation. I've always loved the way his drums sound. He was unavailable. We had worked with Gleo, who was the first drummer for Beyond Creation, but he was like really busy and he was getting ready to move and stuff. So I didn't think it was right to like expect him to do a bunch of shit. So we ended up kind of just mutually agreeing that it was better for me to grab somebody else, which is where I landed on Chasen. I worked with Stevie on that because Stevie and Malcolm were both friends with him. Chasen played with the Faceless. And, Hate Eternal.
I think I actually
Burning the Masses.
Yeah, I've seen him with Burning the Masses, and I might have seen him with Hate Eternal as well. Actually, I can't remember. Burning the Masses
crazy.
Played here many years ago. They did a tour. It was a crazy tour. It was like Flesh God Apocalypse on their Agony album or something, Suffocation, them, and like 4 other like deathcore or tech death bands. It was, I think, pretty sure it was like 2012 or something around that time.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I just think it's sick because like I have friends, you know, where I'm from is not really a big death metal area. But like I had a couple friends, like maybe 3 or 4 friends that were into death metal when I was in high school. It's cool because like I remember one of the songs they'd show me all the time was Nail Gun Massacre by Burning the Masses. And like they'd always show me Faceless songs. And then now whatever, like 10 years later, so I can be like, hey, like remember that song Burning the, you know, that band Burning the Masses? Like he's my drummer now, or like Faceless, like I'm about to play some shows at the Faceless in Mexico. Like it's such a surreal feeling. At the end of the day, they're probably like, I don't care. But it's. I
mean, you've obviously worked really hard to get to the level you are.
I've tried.
Would you say that the realization that you just came to there, would you say that it makes it all worth it? You know, all the hard work and getting the release together and stuff.
Honestly, it's never felt like hard work to me. Like I can't even believe it's been 5 years since we like started doing this. It's not quite 5, but it's getting there. Maybe in like a few months we'll be hitting the 5-year mark. But
Does it feel
doesn't
like
feel
it's
like
gone
it.
quickly, or?
It feels like we just started to me.
Yeah.
It's how I feel like we're just getting ready and like, I mean, our second album's gonna be a good bit different than our first. I'm kind of like overdoing the crazy technical thing because I don't want to do it a bunch and then just kind of burn out
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
years
yeah.
of our audience. And burn
Well, I
out
mean,
myself, but-
you know, it's you should let it all be organic, really. Just write what you want,
Yeah.
because that's what's important. Like you were saying, you're a fan. You know, you should be writing music that makes you feel good. And if other people get on board, then great. You know. But you always,
Like, at the end of the
no
day-
matter what you release, you're always going to have someone be like, "Oh, it's not that last album that you released."
yeah.
And it's like,
That-
well,
and my
no,
attitude's
it
like,
isn't that
go
last
listen to
album.
Go listen to the last album then, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I have to say.
It's right there. You know, do you just want us to rehash out the same thing every single time? I don't know. Silly.
Like, if the Faceless did Planetary Duality twice, I would have been sad. Because it's sick, but, like, I'm super happy with what came out with Autotheism. Where they definitely dialed back the technical shit.
Yeah.
They went for the more progressive elements, and just everything kind of really shined on that album. And
Faceless have
kind of
always
must have
Faceless
came
have always been really natural with their progressing, though. You know, obviously
Yeah.
they added a lot of clean. You know, they went from ultra brutal gutturals to having, you know, sort of choral vocals and lots of stuff like that. But I feel like it's always been natural, and that's kind of testament to Michael's skill as a composer and stuff like, you know.
It's brilliant.
He's a brilliant mind. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I look forward to more stuff from them, because their last album was pretty great as well, in my opinion. I
thought their last album was
thought it
good
was
too.
really
I've
good.
I've
My
never
buddy
heard
Ken
anything of theirs I didn't
was on it.
like.
Yeah, they're definitely that kind of band. I mean, would you say they're the forefathers of modern technical death metal? Then the sort of the scene that you play in. Would you say they're the Mac Daddies of the modern era? You know, don't get me wrong. There's still like Deeds of Flesh and stuff that came way before. But I feel
between
like they
them
created a new sound with them and Necrophagus, obviously, before
Yeah,
them.
between them and Necrophagus for sure.
You know, Necrophagus, obviously. I think the thing is with Necrophagus, I feel like the Faceless brought, especially with the first album, they brought like a deathcore feel into the technicality, whereas obviously Necrophagus is no compromise brutality the whole time. You know, it's
Not only that, but like Obscura and Faceless brought the progressive elements. Like
Yeah.
Necrophagus is just very vanilla tech death, and that's not meant to be diminutive in any way. Like
no.
Necrophagus is incredible,
But I mean, it's vanilla. It's vanilla
you got
because
what you're
it is.
getting.
It's like a guide of how to be a good technical death metal band, in my opinion. Just
That's why, like, a lot of people want this like second coming of Necrophagus and this and that, I just never really got that because I don't see a point. Like,
I don't think he does either. Otherwise, he would have done
Yeah,
something
it's-
by now.
and it makes sense to me now as like an artist or a musician or whatever. It makes sense why he wouldn't really care.
You know,
because, at this point-
he has to have an album ready to pop out, though.
16 years later,
There's no
you know,
way that
you
he
have-
doesn't. You know, he's trolling
bands like
everyone.
you have bands like Obscura and the Faceless and Inferior. Like, what do you in Spawn of Possession? Like, no offense to Necrophagus is sick, but like, what do you need another epitaph for? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and that's another thing for him as a composer. I mean, I don't know how, you know, his mindset and stuff, but he's probably seen a lot of music come in. I mean, I'm sure he still has some interest, and in reality, since Epitaph, the technical death metal genre has really, really progressed and changed into something that's a lot more vast and a lot more, I say, accessible, but accessible in the way that fans that aren't necessarily into ultra brutality can get into, you know? Because obviously you'd never see a Necrophagus album with some clean vocals on it or something, you know? That's
right. I feel like if we get another Necrophagus, it's just going to be like more of Epitaph, which is not bad. But like,
But maybe
You got no point.
maybe that's why he's holding on, because he doesn't want to do that, and he wants to set a new benchmark. You know, I mean, that would, for me, that would be the most exciting thing in the world if he suddenly went, well, check this out, guys, and all the tech death bands were just like, oh my god, what is this?
So we
I mean,
have
it's,
like a lot of. Like,
it's hard to think if there can be a a further progression in the technical field.
Yeah, no,
but
I
at
agree.
the same time, when Epitaph came out, was that not a level up, from everything that was out there?
Yeah.
And that came out of nowhere. So what's to say that? I mean, if Muhammad doesn't come out with it, what's to say that someone else won't come out with a new level of things? I mean, I guess that's one of the fun parts of music, really. But I mean, hopefully, if they do release something else, it will be groundbreaking and a new benchmark. That's my hope.
That's why I think like bands like Fallujah and Vervum, I just call it like Fallujah core, because like Fallujah, Rivers of Nile, Vervum, like they took that Necrophagist blueprint and they kind of brought it to like a more atmospheric.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's almost like for them to progress the genre, they had to dial back the music a bit.
Yeah.
To make it almost sound a little more inherently reserved. But I think that's what it took.
I feel like those bands it feels like more of a journey with the way that they do it, because Necrophagist is really just like a technical onslaught of just like, this is, if you don't like it, turn it off kind of thing. Whereas
you had Spawn of...
Go on.
I was saying, like, I see people talking about Spawn of Possession here. You had Spawn of Possession who basically took the Necrophagist thing and like they said, what
they made it Swedish.
20-30% faster too, and it's just like,
yeah,
Spawn of Possession's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, just to be honest, I've got a thing for Swedish metal. I just love it. For some reason, they can do everything amazingly well. And Spawn of Possession is definitely, they are from Sweden, aren't they? Yeah. I didn't want to embarrass myself.
I love Finnish metal, which is like around and not like melodic, but like back when Swedish metal, like when they started doing the whole buzzsaw thing, like the Finnish scene did a lot of stuff. So you have bands like Demigod and Demolich.
Yeah, Demigod are awesome, man.
All those, like,
Demigod's actually, if you haven't heard the band Demigod, go check them out. They're like a really underrated band, in my opinion. It's a name I haven't actually heard for a long time. But yeah, Demigod, check those guys out.
Seance, I think there were so many good bands.
Anata from...
Anata's from Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites.
They were amazing.
Favorite technical bands as well. Like they were around the same similar time to Necrophagist, really. Definitely probably influenced by that Necrophagist, but...
Did you ever listen to Theory and Practice? They were like crazy band. I forget where they were from, but they definitely had to have inspired Necrophagist to some capacity. Them and a band called Paver, who was from Germany as well.
All right,
They released an album called Furioso.
So this is bands that like you reckon probably influenced Necrophagist. What are they, like pre-99 or?
They might have. I mean, they had an album in '94 that was like released kind of similarly around the same time as Necrophagist did their demos, which was like early '90s.
Do you think they were all influenced collectively by Chuck though? I mean, do you think it all goes back to Chuck?
For sure. I think Necrophagist definitely is a death. I think a Necrophagist is like taking death's music and just like
polishing it
into it.
Yeah, it's super polished
and
super like
with blast beats and crazy.
If there was a death metal band that was like from Berkeley, it would sound like that.
Yeah.
Like so, like perfection.
Necrophagist is something else, man.
Yeah, it's changed. I mean, I wouldn't say that Bloodshot sound anything like Necrophagist, but when I heard Epitaph, I think I heard it in about 2005, in 2006, in the early stages of Bloodshot Dawn.
I was too young then.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, what the hell is this? Hearing something like that and just being like, so this is a level that I want to be at. It was just, I think I got more into them actually as I got older, because at first it was just so intense and crazy that it was almost like ironic to me. I was just like, what? That's so ridiculously good. Like, I don't think I could even comprehend that I'd be able to even get close to playing to that sort of level. So
it's crazy. I can't play any of their stuff, honestly. It's too nuts for me. Like, it's funny because people think our music's like as hard as Necrophagist, but I know Sanjay says, he's like, nah, Necrophagist shit's way harder. I can't play any Necrophagist. It's too too ridiculous for me.
I guess it's just to play it to absolute perfection. I mean,
I don't know if you agree with this, and maybe other composers in the chat will agree. Is like it's easier to play your own stuff. So like even if something sounds crazy to like a listener, it's easier for you because you wrote it. So like you knew
100%, and you're also. I mean, especially if you write something with the guitar in hand, you know, you're absolutely writing it within your limitations, and that's something that's one reason why I don't really use Guitar Pro. I prefer to let my hands do the talking, and just so I don't scorn myself, especially with the fact that I have to sing as well. You know, sometimes
I had my foray with that. I'm done with that now. I had fun with that, but I'm like, okay, I leveled up my guitar playing a little bit.
Do you think? Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it was a good training exercise? I mean, obviously the album's been a great success, but do you think moving forward it's something that's going to just stick with your normal? I say normal composing because what is normal? But composing just with the guitar. Do you think it's something that's going to really improve that?
I got definitely way better as a guitarist, having to learn those songs and just getting comfortable with the shapes and everything, and I'm more ready to play patterns that I'm vibing with more than I would have maybe 5 years ago if I just pick up a guitar. So my muscle memory is definitely working more in my favor these days versus 5 years ago when I would just feel like I was playing like crappy Death ripoffs, or something like that. Now it feels like. But I've also been heavily influenced by jazz fusion over the past couple of years.
Nice, yeah. So many good players.
That's been like Scott Henderson and Frank Gambale and all these dudes, like Alan Holdsworth. Obviously, these guys are all kind of really pushing me to want to.
Per Nilsson, man, Scar Symmetry. He's crazy. He vibes on all of those guys. You know, he tries to. For me, he's the best guy that incorporates fusion into extreme metal. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've caught Meshuggah live with him filling in for Frederick, but oh my goodness, he just improvises every solo, and it's just god tier stuff. You know, improvising over Meshuggah as well. It's just like what?
Like Christian's solo project, his first album. If you ever heard the first Christian Munzer solo album,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Like he has Per on there, and Christian's pretty crazy. So like for Christian to have any guest guitarist to me is like insane.
Yeah, I mean, we actually had Per do a solo on. I mean, to be honest, I'm a bit biased with Per because Scar Symmetry are like one of my favorite all-time bands, but it's because of his guitar playing. Really, he's just so musical. It's like awesome.
He's nuts, dude. I'm not like I remember I listened to what's the one Scar Symmetry album that's like real popular? Transhuman or something like that. Is it maybe?
Is it an older one or a newer one?
It's like Transhuman, blah blah blah. I don't know if that was the name of it, but I remember listening to it once and just hearing the lead work. I was like, holy shit! Like, so I had only heard him at the time from his guest solo on Time Warp, but that was like nuts. Yeah, it was just it had such good note choicing and like.
Yeah, I mean, he's like so consistently good. Man, he's like,
yeah, no, he's crazy, dude.
Scar Symmetry have like 7 albums, I think, and I love every single one of them, and I pretty much know every solo from that band. I've studied them hard, and
you ever see his Strandberg?
Oh yeah, I've played it.
With the tree temps and everything.
Yeah, I play because he on our most recent album he actually produced it with us. And we were just in his studio. He just had it there, and I was just playing it every day. It was so much fun.
How did you like the True Temperament?
This is amazing, honestly. It's so good. The tuning is so delightful. And then you go back to a real guitar, and you're able to hear your intonations out because you've got straight frets, and it's just like It took me about 2 months to recover from like the post-traumatic stress from not having wiggly frets anymore. Honestly,
I said it, by the way, Neo-Human.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I think that might be the name of the track, and the album's The Singularity, Part 1.
There we go.
They should have their new album coming out soon. But yeah, so it's been really cool to chat. I've got a little interview for you, like a generic sort of press interview, which I'm going to fire at you now if you don't mind. So
sure.
So why did you start being a musician? What prompted you to
Nothing,
take
man.
that step?
I mean, are we talking like
Like,
when I was a little kid, or just like
yeah, just in general, when you first picked it up, what was the reason for it? Was it your parents were like,
really
play this,
I really
or
liked Blink-182.
yeah, Blink-182? Man, when I started playing guitar, I was all about the strap below my waist and stuff, you know.
Yeah, all that stuff. Now I play like the dorky, like up to my
Yeah,
my chest and everything.
me too. Actually, mine's quite like up here when I'm live. So
But I remember,
so just like all the small things when that came out, that kind of.
I think I was a little too young for that, but like when their self-titled came out, and then I went back to, actually no, I was around for all the small things, but I didn't really listen to them then. It was just
Yeah,
something
yeah.
I was familiar with, but I got into them when their self-titled came out, which was after Take Off Your Pants Jacket and all that stuff. And I don't know, like I watched music videos of them, and it was just like so cool seeing them play. And I was like, I lived in Florida at the time, and my aunt had a guitar, and she's like, "Yo, you can have this if you want." I didn't know what I was doing.
Nice.
I was just like screwing around. I started getting into like Fall Out Boy and like Brand New and all these like pop punky emo-y bands. And,
So your aunt handed you your first guitar then, so she's got that.
Yeah,
she's
it
got
was
that
like
honor.
it was a first act, which was like, they're like little starter guitars, but
Yeah, of
it was
course.
enough
I
for
mean,
me to,
everyone's
like-
got to start somewhere. Like I think it's interesting for people to know, when you're an established musician, how you started, because it's always humble beginnings. It's always the same. It's always like, oh yeah, I had this crappy Squire Strat that my brother's friend had. And I had to resolder it every day, but like we all had similar journeys like that. So it's always interesting to hear.
I played on an acoustic electric Ovation.
Oh, nice, yeah. They're actually
for,
quite
like-
nice.
and
Is that the one
it
with the
was like a
round backs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back was annoying, honestly, because like
Yeah,
was so hard to-
slippy.
No, it wasn't an Ovation per se. It was like a Flaws, which is I guess like a Squire to a Strat kind of deal.
Uh-huh.
But I had gotten that from my uncle, so like I guess my family just kind of hooked it up a lot. And then my parents finally bought me a Schecter. It was like a really crappy Diamond series.
I had a Schecter Diamond series as my first big guitar as well. I had the old
crappy, but what I mean, like.
Yeah, they're good entry level guitars. Like I had a Tribal Devil, man. I loved it. I actually bought it in Florida as well when I went on vacation there when I was like 17. That was like a big moment for me.
I think I got that because Thomas Eric of Fall of Troy had a guitar that looked similar. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't know the brand at the time, but I was super into the Fall of Troy at the time. And got into them, which was like the most heavy stuff I listened to or played at the time. And I got in this band called The Number 12 Looks Like You. And then from there, I started getting into metal. And then I had like my very big 90s death metal phase. And I just like played everything death. And that brought me to like end of high school, early college. And then around 2014, I fell in love with Inferi. They put out The Path of Apotheosis.
Yeah, amazing band. I love those guys.
Anada actually got me to pick up my guitar again after like a long hiatus. But
Nice.
that was earlier. But yeah, no, I started playing the like modern tech stuff like in 2014. And that's when I started writing. And I consider that like really when I took shit serious was like 2014, 2015.
Nice.
That's
Well,
where I
it's
started
good.
writing
It's good that
everything
you've managed to progress so quickly. So talking about inspiring you into working, what piece of gear would you say that you got, like anything like pedals, guitars, amps, that really inspired you moving forward? Is
I had
there
the
any
Spider
piece?
3.
Spider 3.
Free forever. That was it. And then I've never actually owned a tube amp or anything. I just strictly run into like Bias FX.
Oh,
I had
cool.
a Pod 500 for a little bit, but I just run into Bias.
So
and,
would you say the Bias has inspired, your tones and stuff, and like the way you...
I have got a lot of tones out of Bias. I was never much of like a tone junkie. I never understood the whole fascination.
The
of just,
mechanics.
okay, I'm just gonna play. But now, like as I start getting into Fusion more, like I learned to like kind of emulate tones I liked, and I got it through Bias. And yeah, the number 12 Maestrona cover, that was sick. I got into kind of playing around with my tones when I got my Bias FX a little later. But yeah, no, now I'm at a point where like I like my lead tone, I like my rhythm tones and everything. And
What do you play any guitars exclusively, or do you just have a bunch?
I don't have that many. I have a Schecter KM7. I have some Ibanez, and then I have this one right here.
Oh, there you go. There's a Kiesel.
That's my Kiesel Vader 7.
Nice.
And,
is that this is the guitar you use live and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sweet. That's got a sweet neck as well. Really, really nice. Really.
I love it, man. It's so sweet. I couldn't say enough positive things about.
Does that would you say having a nice guitar like that has inspired you to,
yes,
write
that's definitely
more?
Real.
Yeah.
That is definitely real.
Cool. All right, so I got a few more for you. This one's quite random, and but yeah. So if you could drink with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would be the one question you'd ask them if you could only ask them one question? Chuck. Well, there you go. That's an easy answer for you. And what would you ask him? What would be if you could only ask him one question, and then you just have to drink with him for the rest of the night, and obviously normal stuff, but like.
I guess I'd ask him why I can never keep a band.
Well, I mean, have you seen the documentaries?
No, I heard about it though. I heard that apparently.
Check. There's one on Amazon, man. Oh my god, it came out last year. It's so good, honestly, and it's so.
Yeah, I heard
it's really legit.
Recently.
It's really legit as well. It's got all the members from all of the eras, pretty much. There are some guys that aren't there that should be probably, but like I'm sure there's some politic reasons for that, but no, really good. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but if you go on Amazon, it's the only thing that relates to death. So
is it on Prime?
It's on Prime, yeah. It is, yeah.
I'll check it out. I do have a Prime subscription, which after I'm done, I saw that I didn't know Twitch Prime was a thing. I was trying to recover my password while my song was playing, so I'm gonna sub that up to you. Prime,
see that, guys? You can all sub up to Twitch Prime like Nick is, and help me out. I get paid. You don't have to pay anything if you're already a existing customer of Amazon.
Which is really cool. That's a sick thing, man.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely helps. I mean, the pay isn't like crazy, but it's like I think it's like $3 or something.
So it's like a normal sub, right? It's like $2.50 per sub, I think.
Yeah, so no complaint there, and so. Yeah, if you start streaming, and you get affiliate, that's the best advice. Is just to get all your family.
Hands up.
And another thing is if you get a trial of Amazon Prime, you also get the sub for that 1 month. So even if you haven't got Amazon, you could get a trial, and you can help a streamer out. So got a couple more questions for you. So what is the best band that you can think of that other people might not have heard of, like a best underground band that you feel deserves more attention? Can be anyone.
See, I don't.
James from Bloodshot picked like some Norwegian black metal band that stopped recording albums 15 years ago or something. So it can be anything. It doesn't have to be like a new band.
Martyr isn't underground enough, I don't think.
Well,
but I really think everybody needs to know about Martyr.
Martyr.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they've got a few albums out there, or
yes.
What kind of music is it? Just like comparable to other bands? Is it like
there's no bands to it's Dan Green, who's played in Capharnaum. He's in Voivod right now.
All right, yeah.
He played in Gorguts for a while.
Oh, sick! Yeah, I love Gorguts. Look, see wearing them.
Yeah, see, he did the album From Wisdom. If you ever listen to From Wisdom to Hate, he played the other guitar on that.
Oh, nice.
So they're just absolutely a brilliant band. Like.
Okay, so there you go, guys. Martyr, go check them out.
I cannot say they sound like anybody. It's literally there's no band I can think of that they actually sound like. They're so just next level, and they were so ahead of their time. Like it's not even fun. It's depressing how ahead of the time they actually were.
There you go. So I mean, to be honest, that about wraps the show up today. I've got some stuff to do because it's my birthday. But I hope you've enjoyed yourself, Nick, on the show.
I have.
The song sounds great. I'm just going to shove your links up again so people can go check it out and check out the artwork. If you want to hear more from Equipoise, you can go to their Facebook, and obviously you can find them online. The full album is out now, so go support them on Bandcamp, or you can check them out on Spotify. It's always good to try and help get the Spotify numbers up and stuff. If anyone's got any questions for Nick real quick, it will take a few 30 seconds for it to roll through. But fire a question at us in the next minute, and I'll fire it at him. But yeah, thanks a lot, man. Just want to say, really respect how well you did with your first album. It for me, it was a sure sign that, you know, new bands can come out and make an impact in this time, because everyone's like, it's impossible to do that, and you guys came in, and like you say, you're one of the top selling bands on Bandcamp, and you're only one album in, and I just want to say, like, congratulations, and you know, I hope it continues for you guys.
I appreciate it, dude. I just, like, it's pretty crazy to me. So, like, I still feel, it feels as surreal as the whole quarantine is.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it's real to me, you know.
I mean, it's great. It's great that you're keeping a humble attitude, and you know, I just wish you all the best, because I'm really, like, hoping once all this, because I think I've been bothering you about coming over to Europe. I probably have.
So I would love it. We want to go. That's like our next step, though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely talking to Liam about it or something, about trying to get you guys over here, because
Liam's sick, man.
Yeah, I love that
Liam.
guy. He's probably not watching, because he's probably, like, standing in front of a mirror in some America garb or something. But
yeah, he's wearing the full America outfit.
Yeah, honestly, Liam's one of my funnest friends to tour with. I actually had his band over in the UK recently, and that was really great. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll see you over in Europe. Because I'm sure you'd go down a storm over here, and, you know, maybe we can get some shows going with Bloodshot, perhaps.
Yeah, dude, I would.
Our tour with Vervin was really good. I know we're not, like, strictly the technical death metal side. We're a bit more, you know, I don't want to say standard, but a bit more old schoolish, I guess. So it's just quite a nice blend to blend with a more technical based band. So maybe we can figure something out, hopefully. But yeah.
I'll be down.
No, cool, man. So it's been a real pleasure. So yeah, I'll see you again. I think I might just play a little song to finish up.
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, dude. All right,
Be
guys.
good, everybody that watched. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for everyone who's watched. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I've got next show's coming on Sunday, and that will be episode 3 of the songwriting sessions. So you can come and learn a bit from me, maybe learn a bit, or, do you know what I mean? Just have a good time with me, because I'm on this stream a lot. I'm doing it a lot. I'm gonna play you guys a Bloodshot song. To finish out here. I don't really know which one I'm gonna do. Ooh, I think I might play Smoke and Mirrors. Yeah, so I'm going to play Smoke and Mirrors, guys, from the Demons album. If you guys have any questions or anything for me, fire them at me and I'll answer them afterwards. Thanks again, Nick, and thanks to Hero for everything. Hope you all had a good time today, and I've had a great birthday, so thanks for tuning in. right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you've all had a good time. I've had real fun. I've had a real lovely birthday, so thanks to all my family and everyone and Toria for making it so lovely. And thanks for all hanging out, guys. It's been awesome. So hopefully see you all again soon. Like I said, I'll be here on Sunday. I'll be doing like a songwriting class kind of thing. So yeah, it's been killer, guys. So see you all again. Thank you.